Ooh, don't you love when she says that?
Yes.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the LittleWins podcast. I'm Lexis Serot, and I am super excited to be meeting with my new best friend. I loved that in your email, Shawn
Yeah.
Satterfield.
Best friend.
Best friends connected immediately. Shawn Satterfield, founder of Shine Music, right?
Yep, that's it.
And you have a really exciting event coming up that I honestly am so pumped about that I get nervous when I talk about it because I just don't want to mess it up. I want to do it justice. But the Shine Music Festival is the first of its kind in the entire world.
Yep.
And it's happening on August 8th. It's an event where, now I'm going to get emotional, where people of all abilities
Yes.
will be able to experience the music
Absolutely. Together, not
together.
separated.
It's absolutely incredible. I went to a sporting event last weekend, and every single time I take, my daughter has cerebral palsy, one of my four kids, and every time I take her anywhere, I'll carry her. I don't care. I want her to be able to see. I want her to sit with us. I want her to have the experience, and I'll just put her on my back. But I know I may not always be able to do that. I will die trying. I will die trying. But
Yeah.
But talking to you last week about this, I was so glad that we were introduced because it's always been in the back of my mind. As she gets older, we're a big music family. And you and I talked about this. We're both huge music fans, right? Music
Yeah.
is
It's my
love.
happy place. You 100%.
Mhm. I want her to be able to experience these things. So you're right on time, honey. It may be late. It may be late for the whole world, but for me and my daughter, you're right on time. She's like,
Awesome.
I'm
Awesome.
pumped about it. It's I think for the people, if we could just start at the beginning, to fully understand the magic of this, what it means to experience a music festival for individuals with all abilities includes, I think you said Braille menus. Is that
Yeah,
right?
we've utilized Braille on our concert T-shirts, and from the research, and granted, Google has gotten me through 99% of this planning, because things just haven't happened before, and so I've got to figure them out as they come on, and I found that Stevie Wonder had done a private show or something with Braille on a T-shirt, but no concert, no music festival has ever had it. So we have Braille that says Shine Music Festival on our T-shirts.
Awesome. It's so cool. And then you
Yeah.
have sensory tents.
We have an entire, it started off as a tent.
Okay.
And it, thanks to the amazing city of Denver, we were able to incorporate this upper pavilion that is normally not part of the Levitt Pavillion for concerts. And we have created an entire neurodiverse area that we've had so many different organizations that we've worked with that specialize in neurodiversity, that have worked hard together to create this. And one of the things that, in addition to this huge space that is there, we also have the Autism Community Store has a sensory bus that I have not been in yet, and I'm really, really excited to go into it because it's a bus that they have. Apparently, the entire inside is transformed, and there's like a tree and a water fountain, and you use these lights and you find things, and so it's just really everything. That's what's really amazing. Everything that we've done to make the event accessible is awesome for everyone, whether you have a disability or not. You don't have to have a disability or be neurodiverse to go into this bus and not think it's really great.
Well,
So,
and like, I just want to add to that for those who don't know what neurodiversity looks like.
mhm.
I am actually in the category of neurodiverse. I'm ADD diagnosed, but it's been a long time. And also dyslexic. There's a whole, broad range of what could put you in that category. And it's not always visible to
Right.
everybody. And I love that you're doing that. Do you have like kinetic toys in there, like squeezy things or
Hmm.
clicky things? Yeah, my
Yeah.
kids love those.
Yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
the autism store was great. They've provided us with so much stuff for that. And we're getting all that because it's such a, that team grew into such a massive organization in and of itself. We're in the process of gathering all the details of everything and everyone involved to announce that. Our goal is to get that announced by the end of the month, along with our entire map, right? So that people know where things are and can plan their day accordingly ahead of time, rather than waiting till they get there and figuring it out with thousands of other people around them.
Which is huge, and that's with your with your pathways. And I was listening to, you have a great interview on, I think, YouTube, right, where you don't have a VIP section.
Right.
You're going to start your concert on time. What? I've been to a million concerts. I heard that and I was like, girl, I would come just for that.
Yeah.
You know that the show is starting at this time. You plan accordingly. You get a map beforehand, and then you have accessible pathways. And so you can, if you want to be in the front, you show up early, like
Yep.
you any other time, and
Yeah.
you can find your place. And also, I have to add that I love this story even more because it is my hometown. Denver is my hometown, and I am so proud. I'm just so proud of you. I'm so proud of Denver for hosting this very first, very important event that I truly think is going to change so many people's lives in music as well. The understanding of the importance of music. It just gets me a little bit emotional. You always get me all. Whew,
Oh,
whew.
I'm gonna fight it, because the moment it happens, I'm not gonna be able to turn it off.
I know, but we already agreed it's water. We'll let
Yep.
it flow.
Yep. We'll let it go.
When that moment
They're
hits.
happy tears. They're happy tears.
Absolutely. So accessible pathways. And then what else? I want you to tell the people about the coolest part to me, and there's so many cool
Ah,
parts, but like,
there is.
but for
Um,
the hearing impaired, and can I have one too?
yeah.
Tell them.
They're actually on target. They're actually on target. So full body sound, and there's an interview on YouTube with him as well. And he Googled. He is a rocket scientist by profession, and he kind of started wondering about how could they take what we hear from music and turn that into a form of feeling. How can they make people feel music? And this device that he has, and it's really small. It started, I think the first one, the first prototype was in an Altoid box. And so they just created this really amazing device that can plug into your cell phone or anything, and it's got these little patches that kind of put on, and they stimulate. So you could do it on your arm, you could do it on your back, you can do it on your legs, you can do it anywhere. And the only way I can describe it, because I ugly cried when I tried it. I ugly, really bad cried.
I do too. It's incredible.
It's like the band was inside me. Like, it wasn't just this loud bass feeling, but it was every nuance of the song. Of course, when I was listening to, he told me to pick a song that meant something to me, so I picked a song that I walked down the aisle to, that makes me cry when I hear it, Glory by Humphreys McGee, a Chicago band, and they're my happy place. And I chose that, not thinking. I didn't think it. I mean, I thought it was gonna be cool. I didn't expect it to be. The moment it turned on, it was it. There wasn't a kind of escalating to crying. It was like the moment it turned on, the band, the music was inside me. It was in it, which is where it really is anyway, right? The music is in my soul. I look at music as the language of my soul.
I do
It
too.
it's
But you felt it on every
Every
level
level of
of
my being.
being. Yeah.
Every level of my being. And
I I
I
want to
ugly
try it.
cried.
What's his name? The who did it?
His name is Griffin. And
Chris.
I'm really bad, Griffin Hale. Him and his wife, Allison, and they are amazing. And they are on target as of right now to have this device available for sale for the first time ever. So not only is it they've definitely been at some conventions and had people trying it, but the general public has never seen it or experienced it. So it will be there, and I told him already I want to be first in line to buy it because that's what I need to just sit at home and do all the time. And then feel the beat. They have a dance studio here in Denver that has bone conducting oscillators underneath the floor that allow people to experience music through vibrational energy. And the first time I ever saw that were little girls in tutus doing ballet, and there was no music that I could hear, but they were experiencing it through the floor. So that floor they've created a portable version of it, and that will be there as well. And the devices are for people of all abilities to experience.
This is such a moving and stunningly beautiful example of teamwork.
Oh,
And I'm such a big teamwork girl, if you know me at all. I think it truly is the only way that we will get to our end goals is if we all bring it together. What you
yep.
have, what I have, but started with your vision. And that must be, I think that's why we're both so emotional right now, but it's because I can totally relate. I started something that didn't exist before, and I just felt so
You were willing to give up everything.
everything.
Everything. I'm willing to risk everything that I have done to get to where I am today for this. Oop, there it comes.
I get you.
Yeah,
I want to know how, actually, yeah, how did you come up with this idea? Anything you want to tell me about your backgrounds or tell the people, but I would have to assume everyone would wonder because it's brilliant. It's so simple, right? Everybody wants to experience music.
So simple.
But it has not happened before.
Right. It's done. It's had on, and when I say, and it's not a knock on or other organizations and events that have definitely brought in accessibility. There are companies like Accessible Festivals and other organizations that are out there that are doing this work, right? And
but it's the collaboration of all of these things that you're bringing.
Exactly. It's this whole, it's that I like to say, I created the clearing, right? So it was, and I have a Shine the Light series coming out. I recorded this weekend with Cliff, who's the original street busker, who's the best street busker in the original video that I saw, that came out, I think, in 2017, and I saw it in 2018. And it was of him playing his guitar for a little girl, Lacey, and she happened to be blind and autistic. Mm-hmm. And it was the moment that he placed her hand on the guitar, and she calmed and she lifted her face up to the sun, which is why it's called the Shine Music Festival, because it was at that moment when she let out the most beautiful smile. I connected. Like, I'm watching it. I'm not in front of her. I'm watching a social media video. And I knew what that smile was, because it's the same smile that I have when I'm at a live music event and the energy from the crowd connects with the energy from the band and this magic bubble happens, and you look over to the person next to you and there are no words needed. You both just smile, and it's this knowing, it's this place that's created, like it's almost as if we're transported somewhere for that moment in time. And so I recognized it. I felt it through the video, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was non-stop. And I dreamt about it, I thought about it. And I spent about 6 months going, well, why me? There's a lot of companies and organizations out there that could do this, and surely it's happened. Surely this has happened before. And no, I just, couldn't find anything. And I had people in Cliff, who's in actually Grimsby, UK. So that's what's crazy. He's all the way around the world, and here I am in Denver, see this video, and this has all transpired from it. And when I interviewed him this weekend, he said, when I saw Lacey, I didn't see a little girl that was blind or autistic. He said her grandmother told me that she was blind and that she was autistic, and I just didn't see that. And he goes, because I knew she saw me.
Girl, you got me.
Yeah. I sobbed through the interview, so I'm going to have to edit, my face out of it.
Don't edit it. It's so real. And people need to feel this. Like it's so relatable. It's so simple. It's so relatable. It doesn't matter your ability. It doesn't matter who you are. These emotions are so simple, and everybody feels them. And girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have focus, Lex? Did you have a background or a connection to disabilities beforehand, or?
I did in ways that I didn't even remember until this year, actually, when Mark Farrell interviewed me for his podcast Insight. I kind of started all of a sudden remembering some things, and it sounds weird that I would forget it, but my mother was a secretary, and this is going to date it. The name of the facility she was a secretary for was Mid-Nebraska Mental Retardation Center. Horrendous name.
Hold on.
That's what it was called. Yep. And it gets worse because all my mother was a secretary. She had no training. She knew nothing. And one day she came home with Wanda to come live with us. Me and my sister. I was probably 10. My sister was 7. Wanda, I know she was over at least 18. And there was no training, there was no notification, there was no explaining. We just suddenly had a girl who had Down syndrome living with us. And my mother's gone, so I can't clarify things, but I know that it wasn't, I want to say it was less than 6 months or so. I really honestly don't know how in the world that happened, like why you would just give someone that has needs that require an understanding and training and knowledge, why you would send a person, a human being, home with someone that wasn't qualified. My mother was not qualified. And it's no diss on her. It's just not, that's just I'm going to be really blunt and honest. It was money, my money, we were welfare, and and that's the other thing. They sent her home with a welfare family, and she did it for the money. And that's, and I talked to my sister about it after, and she's like, oh, it haunts me to this day. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, and then my son was in hockey, and I want to say he was also around 10. Wait. Oh, yeah.
Wait, hold on. I'm still
I know.
Yeah. Whoa.
My two moments.
But I'm like, whoa. Okay. My brain is still recycling on the name of that facility. Yes. But every single day, I'm going to remember that every time I feel like we've really not come as far as I feel we should.
Yeah. It was like the 70s, late 70s.
But I'm
still not that long ago.
No, burn it down.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to hear that again. Okay. Yeah. Woo. Do you keep in touch, or do you?
Oh, I have no idea Like I said, I was only 10.
Mhm.
And I think her name was Wanda Prussia. I, I have one photo of her when we were camping, or we were at a picnic. I have one photo with her and my dad, and my sister and I.
Wow.
Yeah.
At 10.
Yep.
I think that's a really important experience, and I like to think that Wanda enjoyed her time with you guys. I'm gonna
I let's
He was a
yeah. I mean,
kid,
it
right?
wasn't like she wasn't
But
abused or anything like
yeah,
that,
of
but we
course.
weren't. But we weren't. Um, you know, we just we just didn't we didn't know. I had never been even exposed to anyone with Down syndrome before that, so we just didn't even know. And that's what my sister and I were talking about. Like, what do we remember? And we just remember her being like, okay, we all had chores and just kind of day to day life stuff. Um, but it wasn't, yeah, she was way older than us, too. So, and to be honest, I remember the first thing my sister said was, I remember she had boobs and we didn't have boobs. so that, so, so that was our,
Little girl
that
thought, like,
was
we're
our,
gonna get boobs.
yeah, yeah. So, that's how literally I think we were just even equally, enamored with the fact that she was a grown woman, and so,
Would it be
and we
safe to
laughed.
say though that somewhere in the back of your minds, and I'm not like trying to read your mind or assuming anything, but would it be safe to say that that experience, because what I'm hearing from you is that you didn't know what to do. And I know how children are. They want to help each other out. Children and their spirits, I talk about all the time, their soul and their openness to love and caring and acceptance is, we, I think as a culture can sometimes teach people to not be that way. But when you're that little, you're inherently just like,
Yep.
let's hang, like, let's be friends, want to play.
Yep.
The age difference had to have been, I am not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, but I think that this experience could definitely be a large part of why you would want um, inclusion, and that you would fight so hard to create something and a beautiful event where everybody of all abilities can go, because within all of the things we've already mentioned also comes education and awareness.
With that question.
And you said that you just didn't know. Well, a huge part of what I try to do with LittleWins too is educate, and just show people that this is what, this is what this is what that is. And it's like, okay, we're all just humans trying to get through our day. But the more knowledge is power. And, and the
100%.
more you experience these things together, especially a music festival, when you boil us all down to like simple syrup, we love music, we love love, we love community, and we really want to understand each other. I believe that wholeheartedly. This is like
Exactly.
the perfect place for that. And so
Yeah.
maybe
And
that's
that's what it is, though. And that's the thing, though. That's why music was the best place to have something like this happen, because it gives everyone there a common denominator,
yeah, we're on the
right? And that
same book. Yep.
that you realize that like I said earlier, music has nothing to do with our outer shell. It's something that speaks to us internally, and whether it makes you happy, whether it makes you sad, whether it brings back memories, whether and you just bust out and dance, and like me, I have no control over what that dance looks like. I gave up a long time
Same.
ago trying to
Well, I
control
don't
it. It's
no.
I have no control. I have no control. But now when you think about that, it's like people are terrified to communicate because they are, there's a positive the positive thing about the vernacular that's happening in this decade, well, really in the past few years, is that people are feeling empowered to express themselves however they express. So with the pronouns, and we're changing those words, right? We're taking out the words that that we don't want to use to describe people. And what happens though is if you're not around that, you don't know what to say, and then you're scared you're going to say the wrong thing, and so you don't say anything.
Nothing. And that is, yes, that's something I've talked about on this podcast many times. And from my experience, I was always taught to look away. The polite thing to do was
don't stare.
Just like let them be. Well, as a child, I was like, well, why? I wouldn't want anybody to do that to me. So it was always in the back of my mind. That doesn't make any sense. And how could that possibly be polite? It goes against like all common sense.
And totally.
But I do think we are moving away from that because nobody wants to be ignored. Everybody just wants to live their damn lives, honestly, like frankly, and speak their truth. And I love that people are coming out when, just to derail this for a second sidebar, when I was trying to find a way to solve for an equipment issue with individuals with disabilities and create just hopefully more access to these super necessary items, I did this discovery of over 170 families. And I couldn't believe that they even wanted to talk to me at first, but I just wanted to find, like you just said, the common denominators. And I just wanted to maybe find two that everybody, no matter what their socioeconomical breakdown was, their symptoms, diagnosis, all of this, what are the pain points? The two most common pain points. And I really think that the most important thing I learned from that was the loneliness. And obviously we knew that they needed things, but nobody ever said, I need help. They said, certainly someone else needs more help than I do. This community is tough as nails. And they're my heroes, and they're not turning around saying like, why aren't you helping me? They're just going through they're just doing their thing. And it's incredible. But I had to lead with my story because a lot of times they didn't want to talk. Like, of course, they're like, who are you?
100%. I mean, that was, it's, but you can't judge them for having their guard up and their walls built up, because it's only a result of the way that people have been treated. You know, like you said, people don't, when you're a child you're open and you're willing to have communications with literally anybody. And then at some point, you know, you just stop trying. And then that wall that you build up hardens you.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole nother like fear and all this, you know, all of that. But what I learned was that I needed to be even more open, lead by example. Here's, let me just air, this is my story. Okay. I'm just going to throw it out there. And if there's anything in there that connects with you, I want you to know I'm a safe place. And I'm seeing more of that. And that was the point of my sidebar, is that I love to see that. And hell, if I have to start with my story, absolutely. If it makes it so that you feel not alone, if you find any nugget of like knowledge or helpful information or something, get to listen to these great stories by people who are really like, we're working together for inclusion, then yeah, hell yeah, I'll tell you my story all day long. If you want to hear.
Day, yeah.
I wasn't really like, I was nervous at first, right? Because I'm shy, but you know.
You are not shy.
Oh, I'm super shy.
If you are, then you've super gotten over that.
No, I've had a lot of coffee. No, I interrupted you just because I wanted to go back to I just wanted to finish that first story, but you were about to go into talking about your son.
Oh, yeah, no, and you're right. It was a good, that needed to probably have a deeper conversation.
Thank you for
But
sharing.
then, yeah, absolutely. I'm exactly like you. We can't control what life throws at us. And so there's no reason to be ashamed. And that through our sharing, healing occurs for both us and other people who hear it. So I'm the same way. My I can relate to a lot of people on a lot of levels. But my son played ice hockey, and as a mother, you're going to love this. I was the director of the hockey, and I decided that we were not going to have end of year participation trophies. Because I'm sorry, parents just paid thousands of dollars for their kids to play and travel all over the United States for and play hockey. They don't need to get a trophy for that. The parents showed up at the board meeting flipping out because I wasn't going to do that. So
Wait, so I'm
yeah.
clear. Is this like blue ribbons for everyone?
No, they wanted trophies.
Yeah, but it's like the same,
Yeah. Oh, you
same
participated.
Yeah.
You played in hockey, which I think is fundamentally, that's a whole nother sidebar about why I think that's what the generations we're seeing, where they show up at work and they're like, I'm here. Isn't everybody going to stand up and clap?
Girl, don't get me started. Don't
Yeah.
get me started. What age was this? How old was he at
I
this?
want to say they were like, 7, 8 years old. And I lost that battle, so they got participation trophies. So I decided that the children needed to appreciate what they have. And so I really can't remember how I pulled this off. I was trying to find, I did go through and find some emails that helped me put some things together. I did a skate with Special Olympics. So they told me that we couldn't do it. And then I was like, yes, we can. I got helmets. We were at a rink, so they could rent the skates. I had jerseys made for them all. And each hockey player on my son's team then was paired with a partner, and they just were skating. And then all the Special Olympics came and stayed and watched the game that we had later that day.
Love that. So way to get creative, right? That's always
Yep.
I think that's what we have to do is like, okay, you're met with a roadblock, or, you couldn't teach, you were trying to teach a lesson, and a good one, an important one, because as grownups, you do not get participation.
No.
These tokens of things like
No.
that for anything, unless you actually really participated and you won or you did something. It's just, we'll talk about that in the next but way to get creative and to bring people together. And I love that.
That was like 20 years ago. So, it's taken, it's crazy. But yeah, and it's been, this has been as trying and difficult as it has been to get this off the ground. I wouldn't trade a single sleepless night or a solid tear for the way this has impacted my life. You made it.
I get you. I feel the same way. Or all the nights I was staying up trying to, figure out how I could figure this out, and then crying, being like, have I completely lost my mind? How many times have you done that?
Oh, when you look at every month when I look at my bank statement, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Lost my mind. But God, it feels good. And you know what? If that's, that to me feels like being alive. That's what I want to feel like. I want to feel like I leave this planet, hopefully better than when I got here. That's all I really want. I want my daughter to grow up in an environment where people don't just see her chair.
Yes.
They're so used to like seeing people and understanding that everybody's different. Everybody's got something like a little bit more like open to what's actually happening. And I will go down swinging. I'll tell you
Oh,
that.
without question.
I'll tell you that right now. But
Yep.
I feel you and I understand you. And thank you for sharing that, because I was wondering if I didn't know what your background was. And so to be that creative and to come up with something so beautiful with all these many different aspects of ways to get everyone together and accommodate everyone. Certainly you had to have had some experience with that. So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
What were some of the challenges I wanted to ask you? And we don't have to
Um,
on it, but if it hasn't occurred on this level that you had to met with, like we just talked about roadblocks, hit me with the challenges.
yeah. I am fortunate enough to live in, I'll argue with anyone, really the music capital of the world. I travel all over the world. I've seen concerts in many countries, and Denver has. I'm 10 minutes away from my sanctuary, the absolute greatest venue in the world, Red Rocks. The first time coming back there, like just putting my hand on the rock, and I just cried. And, my husband's like, here, already? The show hasn't even started. It's like, oh, I miss this place so much. And I could have went at any time, but I didn't want to go without music.
I have chills. Red Rocks is the place when like some of the toughest moments of my entire life, when you just, no matter what you try to do to self-soothe and bring yourself back to neutral.
Yeah.
If I could go home and I could just lay on the rocks like a lizard, straight up, like just,
Yep.
there's something about Red Rocks, and I get that.
It's magical. It is. And then you combine that magic with the magic that I was talking about earlier, and it's like, and I cry. And yeah, and it's funny because like my friends all know, oh, she, especially they know which songs tend to trigger it. But yeah, I just the problem is that when I'm not anyone, right? I mean, I go to a lot of concerts. I know a lot of people in that music scene, but Denver is home to some of the biggest music producers in the world. And they have very loud voices and very deep pockets. And so I think it is a couple of things. One, people see music festival and they have an already always listening concept of, oh, I know what a music festival is, and they scroll on. They see the words free, because again, wanting to remove all barriers, 70% of people with disabilities are unemployed, and it's not because they're not capable of working. And after 2020, a lot of people have financial. It was a tough year, so it had to be free. So they see free, so it must not be free.
People. It's free. Yeah. It's free.
We have the score. We have 11 bands, and they're amazing, talented.
It's accessible. We have vibration units. We got the flooring, honey. You got a sensory tent, and it's free. So yes, I honestly, I hear you. And I think these music executives, I hope that they hear you. This is not, we're not really asking for help here. This is an opportunity.
It is. And it's also not a diss. I think this is really important. It's not a diss on the music industry at all. At all. It's just not, they're not in this business. What they've created to make this happen. Mm-hmm. It's not a diss on the facilities. And I get that it doesn't, if you to say that you're going to make every single venue 100% accessible for all different disabilities, I'm sorry, that is not feasible. Do I think that they could have even an email where if someone does, whether they're blind, deaf, autistic, whatever it may be, that they want to come to an event at a venue, that they have someone that they can contact, they can info at, disability at or whatever, and they can work with them. Yes. One-offs, absolutely.
With options.
Yeah, so it's not a diss on them at all. And I think some people maybe got a little defensive in that it wasn't that I was pointing out,
Whoa.
hey, your venue's not accessible. It's just, hey, this isn't accessible, but here's what we can do for this time to make it so.
I
That's
didn't
it.
think people got defensive. When I just said, I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
oh gosh, did I come off aggressive? I don't think that at all. I think it goes back to my statement about how I was raised. And I think more
Mhm.
people are operating in that kind of mindset of like, the polite thing to do is look away, or like not what you, like you said, not stare or whatever. I mean, we both know it's a bunch of baloney, but
Right.
not everybody has had the experiences we have. So we're not throwing shade here, folks. We're talking about music lovers, one music lover to another,
Right. That's it.
and opportunities. And that's
Yeah.
it. And the opportunities could be, like you said, so simple as just offer more options, like a drop down box. Do you need, I mean, do you,
That's what we did.
do you need,
That's
yeah.
what we did. Yeah. On our
Um,
tickets, it says, optional information. You don't need to give it, but if there's any information you can provide us that would make this day as the best it could possibly be for you, what is it? And, is whether you have a guide dog, a service dog, whether you use any assistive or adaptive technologies, you name it. And people even put like, I'm gluten intolerant. They put that on there in their other. It's like, fine, okay, great, because we need to know this so that we make sure that we have vegan and gluten-free, options for food.
you're such
So
a mom. We're such moms, aren't
so,
we? We're such
yes, get in the
moms.
purse and pull that out and let's have that. And so, and I run back to the vendors and say, hey, by the way, do we got this covered? And like, we absolutely do. So it's
That's
not, yeah.
awesome.
And we did, and that's it. And then otherwise you just skip that part and you go on. And I think a lot of that also is just giving them a voice to be heard.
Mhm.
Like, hey, yeah, this is something that would be, I thought I had it all figured out, and every day I come up with something new, and my board of directors is like, "That's enough. It's 19 days. You cannot keep adding things." But like, didn't dawn on me that like people with mobility issues or like maybe say Parkinson's can't have drink cups without lids.
Oh, girl, I have arthritis in my right hand so bad. I could have told you that. I'm sorry. I dropped the ball.
Drop the
Like,
ball.
my daughter has CP, and we, have all different kinds of adaptive silverware cups and all of these things, but I use them sometimes too. If if my hand is really hurting,
Yeah.
hit that
And,
sippy cup.
yeah,
I don't
and it
care.
was awesome. Pepsi stepped up and they were like, the Levitt Pavillion uses Pepsi products and they have Pepsi cups. And when they found out, I asked them, hey, by the way, could you give me the model, not model number, the what kind of cups these are, so I can make sure I'm getting the right lids. And like, we've got that, don't worry. And they're supplying it and making
Yes,
sure they have them.
Pepsi.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Pepsi.
yeah.
Like I said,
Yep.
an opportunity, people.
That's
And I love
it. It's just,
work. It's
yep.
so awesome. This is so my jam in every single, like all the facets of it. I'm so excited. I will be there.
Awesome. I cannot wait to dance with you and your daughters.
I want that t-shirt.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and
I just saw the design for it yesterday.
I'm super pumped. And I'm going to
Yeah.
help you in any way, shape, or form. I told you we'll
Mhm.
be a sponsor, whatever it is. But I love this so much, and I thank you for creating something that is going to get me every time, be pioneering
Yeah.
a really important life event for everyone, and something that hopefully we can all move forward with. And I know you and I can probably do that. But this is beautiful and built with so much love. And I'm really proud of you. I'm so glad to have
Mm.
met you. And you got me again. Damn it. I'm gonna
Yeah. No.
switch because I will start just sobbing. But thank you for doing
No.
this, and for
Thank
the
you.
sleepless
Thank
night,
you.
for
You've
the
done the
sleepless
same thing.
and for all the stress and all that, girl. It's worth it. It's gonna be great.
It
I want to
is.
know, because we're like one music lover to another. On your website, I saw you have this beautiful quote by is Elton John, I think. I
Yep.
pulled it out. Music has healing power. It has the ability to take people out of themselves for a few hours.
Yep.
Me after I put my kids to bed and I'm like whipping up pancake mix for the next morning, AirPods in, dancing, the dance that the like
yeah.
not, whatever, don't care. Yes. And so who's your favorite? Like, I know it's hard. It's like, what's your favorite movie or whatever? Who are your favorite movies?
Well, so I will start this because if I say the first thing first, then that's going to be everybody's going to put. I have seen everyone from Garth Brooks to Guns N' Roses to Rainbow Kittens. I mean, I just love music. There's very few music genres that I don't like, but I will say that the reason that my top 3 are who they are is because the jam band world gets community, and so Fish.
Yeah, you're a Fish fan.
Fish, 100%. Man, that. Ooh. and and it's funny because I love that there's this whole kind of people who don't know Fish or they only know it by the media. They have this idea of what they think it is, and I'm like, I'm fine with that because it's hard enough getting tickets as it is. Totally. So you go ahead and you think what you think of them because that's cool. I need to get my tickets, and I don't want to fight more people. Yeah. Totally. So Fish, because Fish was the band. I went to. I was into REM and In Excess and all that. I'm an 80s girl in college, and I went to my first Grateful Dead concert in 1991, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go see that band that plays Truckin'. I had no idea. And I was sitting.
Honestly.
No idea. And I spent all my time getting ready, and I'm in the 3rd row in front of Jerry. And when they first came out, I was like, I didn't know that Spock from Star Trek was in Grateful Dead. I'm not joking. I thought Mickey Hart and Spock were one and the same, Leonard. I did. And the guy behind me, I hope that somehow he hears this because he has to still be laughing. He was laughing so hard. And I was like, turned around and I said, right? And he goes, yep, that's Spock, all right. And I'm like, yeah, crazy. And so, and then I got really, all of a sudden, I felt this, they played a song that was written for Brett, one of the keyboard players who had died, and this girl next to me who I didn't know grabbed my hand and held my hand through the song, and I looked at her and tears were just crying, and I realized somehow, some way, that I had found home.
Yep. And not only did you find it then, but you're creating it for everybody else.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And so it was there, and then Jerry died, and then it was Fish, but then it was Humphreys McGee. That was my first time of discovering a band before, like I got a CD at a Fish show in a parking lot, and it had a marker, written UM. And it was not a great recording. I still have it. But I was like, wow, these guys are really good. And needless to say, I just celebrated my 100th show at Red Rocks a couple weeks ago for them. I got a shout out on Father's Day.
Really?
So, yeah. But that's the thing. Yes. Jam band world's like, it is a community. We very much are all about the live scene. And I'm a Ween fan, and I know that puts me in a whole nother genre. But like Rainbow Kitten Surprise, I found them in 2019, and I fell madly in love with them in camp. And then camp. Oh my gosh.
Same.
And then I was all excited to see them.
I wanted to stop you. I was like, did you say Rainbow Kitten Surprise?
I love Rainbow Kitten Surprise. I mean, I love them.
Wow.
Have you heard them?
Yeah, that's why I was going to stop you, but I wanted to let you finish. But I was like, you've heard them?
Oh, love them.
Did we just become best friends?
I think we became best friends a while ago, but yes, we've just put another stitch in that bond.
Yeah,
for sure.
Did. I love everything about this. I want to make it abundantly clear for all of our people. This is the Shine Music Festival. It's happening August 8th in Denver at the Levitt Pavillion. It's free, people.
free.
It's free. We would love donation though, right? Like,
You know what we really would love is we really want to, and even though it's free, I'll use the word sell out because I don't know what. So if we imagine the impact, so I think there are people out there who think that no one's really interested in this.
oh,
And the fact that I have Special Olympics and Easter
perfect.
Seals and all of them on that, being there, I know that I know that there is an interest, but nothing. There is no amount of money. There is no amount of anything that will speak louder than us hitting capacity, because that will speak volumes. So if you're in Denver and you like music, and we've got every different kind of genre represented, open yourself up, experience new music, sell that thing out, make people standing outside wanting to be in. That is what's going to get the attention of the world. Because I have people driving from New Jersey.
Oh yeah, I'm flying with my whole entire family to Denver.
They shouldn't. People shouldn't have to. Yeah, people shouldn't have to come from, halfway across the country to experience live music like this.
But
You need it to be something that happens everywhere.
If you build it, now I'm only speaking in movie quotes.
Yep, I know. Yep. If I built it, so now we need everyone to come.
So so if it's free though, how do we sell it out? So I saw that you have online. When are tickets available? Because
they're available now. They're available now. So shinemusicfestival.com/tickets. And it's just about, so we call it an RSVP, right? It's like grabbing your free tickets, because one of the things that a fear that I had was that the communities of which we had worked really hard to include that normally aren't included were going to come, and we were going to be at capacity.
Oh, that would be
right. So we just want to fill it up. Let everybody know ahead of time. Hey, FYI, we're at capacity. We're full, and so that's it. And a lot of the Levitt, like all Levitt foundations do, they have 26 Levitt Pavilions across the United States, and they give back to their communities by offering free concerts to the communities. And so I think there's also a little bit of they think that that's what this is, and it's not. It just happens to be that the event is that we are having, and Levitt is where we're hosting is hosting it, that that it's still free. So I think there was, it's new, and so it's just getting the word out.
Okay, we gotta get the word out. You got it. So they just create a reservation, basically.
That's it. You just go in. Yep. And then it's a Good Elephant. We partnered with a company that is a collective good organization, and it was going to allow us to do signups so that people can think Disney Fast Pass, right? People can sign up to. You can just walk up to the all the different things that we have there, but we also are going to allow people to sign up so that we can put that in there and have your QR code for entry, as well as all of your registrations and signups, and our way to communicate with you, provide maps, let you know where everything is, all in one app. So that's the reason we went with them. So that's what that's for. You just go in there, and it is, be very clear, it does say optional donation, but it's optional. That's what that word means. So if you can, awesome, great. Obviously, if we want to have another Shine Music Festival next year, we're already a year away, and so to start to have some funds in the bank to keep that process going, so we can keep those plans going, would be great. And then otherwise, by all means, you can click on the I want to go for free, and so that's it. It's real simple.
Bless you. Honestly, I love it. Do you need equipment? Like, do you need scooters, or do you need anything for accessibility, like
No,
equipment?
I think we have all that. I mean, I think those were the things we've already really dialed in. We need volunteers.
We need volunteers. That was my
We do
next
need
question.
volunteers. Yes,
We
we
need
do need
volunteers.
volunteers. Yep.
Okay, and can they, I think I saw it, they can volunteer within your website. So
Yes, there's a whole volunteer page.
.com. Got it.
Yep. And we're actually organizing all that this week. And we were really fortunate. The Autism Community Store has a grant that they were able to give us for educational training. So we're doing a virtual training session on July 29th for everyone, whether you're a Shine team member or a volunteer, any of the vendors. That is just education. That's it. So it's just good all the way around. It's going to help you be more inclusive in your overall thought process.
In your life.
And yeah. So we're doing that. And
can I attend that? I would love to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll keep my mouth shut, I promise, the whole time.
Yeah.
I won't say a word, but I would love to.
Yeah, we were really great to get that. We were really grateful to get that grant.
It seems yes, it really is abundantly clear that you've thought about it from every single angle. You've talked to so many people, and you have to, right? When you create these things that haven't been created, you just literally have to get on the level of every single human.
Hundreds of people I've talked to. Yeah.
Hundreds of people. And yes, girl, that work, this is going to be a blasty. I can't wait. So what about if it is, our goal is to sell it out, our free concert, in reservations. What if people still want to watch the show? Do you offer it for virtually, or?
We are working on that.
Should I just run like I don't know. I almost said camcorder. Are those even around?
I can't. Well, we have this. We have a bunch of photographers, tons of photographers, and one of the photographers. This is the thing now. They are a social media photographer or videographer. So they record video from their phone for social media platforms. So we have her that she's going to be going around, and there's so many different elements, and capturing all that and posting that on social media. And we're my team will tell me every time I bring it up, let's focus on getting that capacity, and then you can go to that level.
I'm just curious.
I know.
I was saying myself from my own phone. I don't care. But as long as I just, always am curious if, some people still aren't ready to be out,
Right.
and I get that too.
Right.
But I want, obviously you've got it covered. You're going to have all the
it's outdoors. It's 50% capacity, even though this Denver is at 100% capacity. Levitt Pavillion is 14,000 capacity. And because we took a lot of the lawn and made those pathways, and we created things on there, we're limiting capacity to 7,500. So that it creates a space so everybody can feel comfortable, and there's plenty of room to spread out. You don't need to be right down in the pit with everybody. You can be kind of all over.
You can be anywhere you want.
It's outdoors, beautiful Colorado weather.
I'm so excited. I'm going to be there. You'll see my shining face. And we know that, there will be plenty of videos and snippets, so people will be able to experience it no matter what. But they're probably right. Let's get some reservations. Let's see some music, people. Let's get together.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your support. I'm so grateful to have met you and to have you in my life.
Likewise. Thank you for your time and for sharing all of your story. It's so important, as we said, to share. And girl, go girl. I love it.
100%.
And maybe next year it can be in Chicago.
It is Chicago. Chicago is my favorite city, other than where I live, because Chicago has a soul.
Don't threaten me with
man. We'll go. We'll eat some Pequod's pizza, because that's the greatest pizza in the whole wide world.
I will do this.
And go down to Kingston Mines and listen to some awesome.
Oh, Kingston Mines.
I know. I'm telling you, I love Chicago.
Is another little dive blues bar, it's super small, but it's so good.
Yeah, that whole area. I had my batch brulette party there. I love Chicago.
I'm all
It's a
in.
batch brolet because the guys were upset that they couldn't participate. So we had to call it a batch brolet.
That's very
And
generous.
they did a very good job. They actually were like, wow, you guys have way more fun parties than we have. Well, yeah, of course we do.
Yeah. Yep. Well, anyways, I think we should have a concert here.
Yes, I'm in. I'm game.
Yeah.
Would love to have it there.
Thank you so much for everything that you're
you.
doing, and I can't wait. Let me
Thank
know.
you so much.
Let's follow up about how else I can help get the word out. Okay.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
Proud of
Appreciate you.
Girlfriend. You rock it.
Ditto. Ditto.
We laughed. We cried.
We did.
We're
Yes,
about
we
to
did.
see shamans. Goodbye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.